Well, hello, friends. I am again and once more Bishop Andy C. Luter, and again, I'm delighted to share with you my video lecture series on church leadership. Again, as I've stated before, this particular series I've put together for persons who are involved in or are training for positions of leadership in the local church. And so positions and officers like deacons and deaconesses, ministry leaders, auxiliary leaders, trustees, stewards, or any other position of the local church can benefit from the material that is found in this particular curriculum. Friends, this lecture will conclude with questions at its end, as in previous lessons, and it will prepare you for an examination if that is indeed the custom of your congregation or church. So let's begin with our next lesson. This lesson is entitled The Organization of the Church, Part 3. We now come to the second main part of the Bible, and that is what we call the New Testament. The New Testament is also called the New Covenant, and it covers the life and ministry of Jesus through the writings of the disciples, including that of the Apostle Paul, the Apostle Peter, and even the Apostle John. Now, just like we found subcategories and sections in the Old Testament portion of the Bible, we likewise have subcategories and sections in the New Testament as well. These sections number 4 and include Gospels, New Testament history, letters, and New Testament prophecy. Of the 66 books of the Bible, there are 27 of these books which are found specifically in the New Testament. Officially, these books are known as the books of the canonized New Testament because they are the books that have historically been agreed to and represent the sacred literature of the Christian church. Friends, it should be noted that there were many more books written for the New Testament than just these 27. Now, those books that are left out, the books missing from this listing, is known as the apocryphal books. The first section of the New Testament is that of the Gospels. The word gospel comes from the Greek language and is based upon the word evangelion, which literally means good news. The canonized New Testament has 4 books that make up this section, and they include Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Of these 4, the books of Matthew, Mark, and Luke are collectively known as the Synoptic Gospels, and Mark is the earliest, written in 62 AD, and also the shortest, consisting of only 16 chapters. The word synoptic literally means to see, and it is assumed that all of these books are based upon an eyewitness account. Now, friends, in the second section of the New Testament, we find the history of the New Testament church, primarily through the ministerial career of the Apostle Paul. It should be noted that this is the history of the early church for its first approximately 20, maybe even 35 years. The letters section of the New Testament contains the primary writings of Jesus' disciples. These books can be described as either Petrine, Johannine, or Pauline, based upon authorship. The Petrine books are based upon the writings of Peter. The Johannine books are based upon John, and the Pauline books are, of course, based upon Paul. In other circles, these books are divided between the general and the pastoral epistles. Friends, the final section of the New Testament is what we call New Testament prophecy, and it consists of only one book, and that is the book of Revelation. This literature is also known as apocalyptic literature because of its description of the end times. The study of the end times is known as eschatology, which is the other term that the book of Revelation is known as. Revelation was written by the Apostle John, the same John who wrote the Gospel of John, along with 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John. And he was the only disciple to die of natural causes, having been banished to the Isle of Patmos. Now again, friends, now that you've completed watching this lecture, you are now ready to consider answering the questions that are listed below. Let's begin with study question number 1. What is the second main section of the Bible called? Number 2, how many books are in this part of the Bible? Number 3, how many sections are there in this part of the Bible? Question number 4, name the sections in this part of the Bible. In the first section, name the books that make this section up. What is the word that means eyewitness account? Question number 7. Friends, the book of Acts is primarily based upon whose ministerial career? Question number 8. Name the types of letters found in the New Testament. Number 9. Which word literally means the study of end times? And the final question, number 10. Where was the Apostle John banished to? Friends, I am Bishop Andy C. Luter, and I want to thank you for sharing, as always, these last several minutes with me. I pray that it has been helpful, that it will improve your own life and study. I look forward to sharing with you in the next section of our study. Remember, God loves you, and so do I.